The Miami Dolphins are entering the climax of their season. They're going into their last regular season game against the New York Jets, and they're going to need a little bit of help if they want to make it to the playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs, who are resting pretty much all of their starters, are going to have to beat the Denver Broncos on top of a Dolphins win, so Miami has a chance to make it to the postseason. And that's very exciting, but looking at the downside, Miami is going into a situation that they are all too familiar with. When they have made the playoffs the last three times, which have been 2016, 2022, and 2023, two of those times they made it with a backup quarterback starting in that playoff game. And those situations have come because of late season injuries to the starting quarterback of the team. 2016, you look back at December 11th, the Dolphins are playing the Cardinals. They are on the verge of making a postseason run, and Ryan Tannehill suffers a significant knee injury. Matt Moore is forced to come in for the rest of the season, and then he plays against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Dolphins lose 30-12 in the wild card game. That situation seems awfully similar to a game that the Dolphins played a little over 2 short years ago in 2022 on Christmas Day against the Green Bay Packers. Tua Tagovailoa suffers a concussion, and now you're looking at Skylar Thompson playing the rest of the season, going into a game against the Buffalo Bills, and the Dolphins lose another playoff game largely due to the fact that they don't have their starting quarterback to go to battle with. And yeah, I understand in 2023, Tua Tagovailoa was healthy. He played the entire season. The Miami Dolphins won 11 games, made it into the playoffs, still lost in that wild card round, but made it a little more safely as the 6th seed rather than being that last team that sneaks in. But that's more of an outlier season than it is, the trend at hand. And like I said, credit to Tua Tagovailoa for playing all of those games in 2023, but it takes going back to 2015 to find another season where that happens for a Dolphins quarterback. 8 of the last 9 Dolphins seasons have included 2 or more quarterbacks starting games for the team. Some of that has to do with quarterback controversy, like Josh Rosen and Ryan Fitzpatrick both playing in 2019, but a lot of it has to do with injury, like Ryan Tannehill in 2016, 2017, and 2018, and now Tua Tagovailoa missing games in almost every season of his career outside of that 2023 year. And now in the Tua Tagovailoa era, the Dolphins have been pretty much required to play perfect football when he's healthy, because when they can't rely on him to stay on the field, they also can't rely on their backup to win games. Some of this blame can be placed on Mike McDaniel not going after the right guys, not putting enough capital into that position, relying on guys like Skylar Thompson. But the fact of the matter is, 6 or 7 games without your starting quarterback, like you have seen this year from the Miami Dolphins, has required that they have to play elite football when Tua Tagovailoa is on the field. The Dolphins are 25-13 during the Mike McDaniel era when Tua Tagovailoa starts and finishes a game, but that's still not enough for them to be a consistently comfortable playoff team that doesn't have to fight tooth and nail until the last game just to find a way to sneak in. And yeah, like I said, some of this can be an indictment on coaching. Miami hasn't been able to maximize the litany of weapons they have when Tua Tagovailoa isn't in the lineup, and that is a problem for Mike McDaniel and company. However, another problem for this team is the fact that Tua Tagovailoa, while he's trying to progress linearly, is making a trade-off with his body that has its downsides. Think about the 2023 Miami Dolphins, and in particular Tua. He is putting on weight, he's doing martial arts, he's trying to learn how to fall, as he put it, and in doing so, he has a fully healthy season, but what you lose out on is the peak of being able to move, evade pressure, and extend plays the way that he could earlier in his career, or even in the season prior in 2022. But now, looking at this past year's version of Tua, he's losing weight in order to try to gain that explosive ability back, and now he's missing 6 games. The bottom line is the Miami Dolphins have found themselves in the same situation time and time again. Whether you have a quarterback who you believe in and paid into a Tagovailoa, or 2 quarterbacks that were kind of hodgepodge thrown onto a roster to potentially lose games in Josh Rosen and Ryan Fitzpatrick, you've had to play 2 or more quarterbacks a season. Like I said, 8 out of the last 9 years. And if that isn't addressed by going after a big-time backup quarterback or somebody who could potentially start a few games, the Dolphins are going to continue to find themselves in a similar situation, being on the outside looking in.